a higher high or even came close to it. It hasn't even broken this trend here that it has. And here the price has actually gone up. So right now we are hitting that double top right here. So if you guys look, I'll switch quickly to the chart, just kind of visibility wise, so you guys can see it. So let me remove this. So you guys see basically here, it's hitting the resistance. It's almost like a clear double top that it's forming right here. So we'll see this level. We'll pay attention to this level and see how well we react at 4731 tomorrow. There's a high chance we're going to reject. If we do get over it, we have to kind of be aware of these levels right here, 4740. And I think all-time high is at 47. So let's just delete this one, 4743 if I remember. Yeah. So 4743 is the level, but I'm expecting a trap tomorrow. I'm expecting us to actually go up, reject here, and come back and retrace. They will not give you a clear double bottom pattern here usually. So market makers are in it to make money. They're not gonna be like, hey guys, retail, here's your money. You break this neckline right here and you're gonna go fly higher, which might be the case. There might be a Santa Claus coming and basically giving us free money. If this goes over 47.43, how do we know where it's gonna go? Simply, we're just gonna grab some fibs here. We're looking at 4804. So it would be about 57 or let's say 64 point run if it does kind of break above it. Okay. So that's for ES. And then if you look at NQ, NQ kind of honestly similar setup. It's a double top at the neckline right here. So if you guys look at this, this is what I tell you guys to do a lot, especially in the mornings when you're trading. So if you now go here, it's literally hitting the supply zone. I would not trade any tech till this is broken here on the top side. You have to be aware what the broader markets are doing. And the broader markets are going to do whatever this level until 16,456 is broken with conviction, meaning volume. I would not take it long. Anyone noticing anything risky here? Somebody has to see it. Is there a warning sign to anyone?
On a smaller time frame, that spot's been touched like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Okay, that's good. What about this right here?
Volume anomaly.
There's a huge volume anomaly right here. And if you see, this is where you have to think like a trader, like a machine. Where does this repeat? Well, let me kind of take you back a few weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days. Is it the same pattern right here? Boom, boom, boom. Got to the top. What happened then? Oh, it traced all the way back down. So from this point on, it retraced all the way back down, probably around 100 or 78.6 right here. So if I was to add 78.6 real quick, just so you guys can visualize it, it retraced it right back on it. You see this? Came back right on that and held it. So it had like a little demand zone here and it went back. Okay. So tomorrow we kind of have to watch that because this is also a pattern forming here. Does anyone know what pattern is forming right here? I'm talking about
bull flag?
No, not on the daily. It's not a bull flag yet. You need to have lower lows a little bit here in order to create a bull flag.
I can't think of the name of it. I think it's the candle, and it's like a abandoned baby. That's the one. I was about to say something baby. I couldn't think of the.
That was great.
So here's your abandoned baby pattern. Right? You have a bullish candle. You have a doji. You got to have the gap in between, and then basically goes. So if you come here, there's a little bit of time. This was definitely here, abandoned baby, the start right here. But you guys see the abandoned baby right here? That was perfect. Right here, boom, dump. This is obviously bearish engulfing here. So this could be, I'm not saying it is, it could be a bearish abandoned baby forming. So we're going to watch that. We're going to watch how it plays out. I'm not taking personally any stock long till this clears here. And this is, I mean, this is a significant point. This is about 100 and what? 100 and something points here between where it's at now and here. So it might not be that we trade tomorrow too much heavy unless we go on the bear side and we kind of break some of these levels on the downside. But that's why we'll look at some stocks right now. Let's look at crowd. I did like crowd the way it's looking. So this study that I'm using here, just so everybody knows, you might ask me what these lines are. This is actually market profile. Market profile is different than volume profile. I'm studying something to see if it works in accordance with everything that I do, really, because the market profile compares the time price opportunity instead of the volume price. So it basically considers the price and where it spent most of its time. So here I'm looking at crowd, and it looks like, honestly, that this might be ready to go. So I think it was 213 that I was kind of charting on my phone. Yeah, 213, I would say and a half. Once this breaks, this really has potential to make about a $30 run. And this is just me looking at charts, naked charting. It's making higher lows, as you guys can tell. And there's a chance that we reject again and come back, but this is something really, really worth watching. This stock runs like crazy when it takes off. I mean, not too long ago, it was at 300. And here it's forming a double bottom, right? So you have a nice double bottom right here. You guys see it?
Yeah, I see it.
So there's your first hit, there's your second hit. Obviously, you know, if you wanted to go into equity, some people would buy the support. Some people that play the breakouts, you would buy the breakout of the neckline. But I think for our options tomorrow, this would be a really, really good level to be aware of. So I'll add this one to our watch list over 213 and a half. Is Jag on or somebody that can take notes of the levels? That'd be good, just to kind of help. Let me see. Sequence, do you mind doing it?
Shorty, I can do it.
Oh, sure. Thank you, man. Well, anyone that can step up, that's great.
What was it? 213?
Yeah, so 213 and a half. I would set an alert over 213 just so you know it's approaching that level as a heads up. But, you know, we would take you long over 213 and a half, and your first point would be actually about 228 would be the first point of the resistance, and we can check that also with fibs. We have multiple tools we can check. First, if I check with the fibs, it's telling me 228 again. It's a perfect level here that it's finding 228. So it's a confluence off of naked trading right here and off of the fib level right here. So it looks like we might be good to go here if this starts running. And I mean, we can check the algos and Catch and Drew if you have it up, see what they've been buying, if they've been buying anything on this yet. But it seems like nice volume here.
Yeah, I'll post it right now.
So this is this kind of goes on my first list to watch. I did notice Fubo. I do have a lot of Fubo shares, and I'm not saying this, you know, buy Fubo because of my shares or whatnot, but it does look really good on the daily. Let's see. So let me go on the daily. So on the daily, I really like this setup. Does anyone know what this is? So here, these two that you had right here, does anyone know what that pattern is?
And inside bar?
There's a name for it. Yes, it definitely is an inside bar. There's a patterning. So are you guys familiar with patterns of the candlesticks and how they come around? I'll post a book for you guys to read.
There's a,
Isn't
there
Japanese farmer.
bullish engulfing right there?
This is a bullish harami here. These two candles right here, this one and this one, this is a bullish harami. So this is a really good reversal pattern. Whenever this happens, there's a high potential that you're going to be running to the previous high, which would be around 2159. We're cleaning up some resistance here. So we had the 1797. So the way I would like to play this is probably over the previous day high, which would be right here. Let me just get that magnet on. So if we can clear 18, honestly, this might go ahead and run. This might be running really, really nicely all the way to this target here. So we would have 19, maybe scale out some profits and probably not play this week's contracts, probably buy some time. Probably you could play this week's for the scalp and don't expect 300% gains. But maybe if we get like March, let me just make sure when's the ER. This doesn't make sense. But there has to be an ER between these months. Yeah, March 1st. Yeah. So I think March contracts, monthly March contracts will print on this. If you get like 25s, we will be close to the money with the 127 here. So if we can get over 18 and hold on the daily, I will be buying the March contract as well as the weekly contract, probably 19 or whatever the increment they might be. Wondering if I should start a 5K challenge on this.
Wait, I'm sorry. You said over what?
Over 18, we're looking tomorrow. I'll play probably the $19 calls or even maybe 18 calls tomorrow. Because I want to catch the most of it tomorrow.
So I posted the algos for crowd. I don't think you're going to be surprised. Look at that call to put ratio. It's sick.
Yeah, so I think we're almost ready to go, guys. So this is called here break-even zone. Right here. So this would be your first point of profits right here on this line, whatever that is, probably about 220, which is not bad.
Would Facebook be considered tech?
Facebook is tech, correct. We'll watch. So we have Fubo, Crowd. Facebook is on my list. We'll take a look at Facebook, and we can look at some other tickers. Let me just make sure that these lines don't confuse you guys. So here's Facebook on the weekly. I mean, if you look at the weekly, this is actually a bull flag that's forming right here. So this would be a nice bull flag on Facebook here. And do you guys know much about do you guys know how to know if it's a bull flag or if it went too low? A lot of people call something bull flag, and the thing is creating a double bottom pattern. So when you do fibs, if you grab the top to bottom of that swing low to swing high, it cannot go below to 0.382. And what did it do here? They immediately made sure that they bounced it away from that level because they know then it basically dies on the same size and same volume. Same length as it did here. So we reverse probably to the bottom of here if this failed here. So you're looking at 137 on Facebook. If this failed, so they're looking to take this out and go higher. Obviously on Facebook, you have the 354 level. That's very, very important for it. And then if I show you this, let me go here. Let me know if this screen is visible for you guys. So here's Facebook Keltner channels. The green Keltner channel is the 4-hour Keltner channel. So it's still in the top. So if you're gonna day trade it, you don't want to take this till it clears this cloud, which is 337.5 for that. The first level of resistance, as soon as you take it over 337.5, is going to be 344. At 343.5 or less, you want to be getting out of your position. And this, if the open green, is going to happen within 4 minutes. This right here. Does anyone know why? Market makers don't see a single resistance point in between here. There's nothing holding the stock back. And then when I look at it, right about 344, you have the 349.5, and that's the level that I don't trade in this area. This is a no-no. Yeah, Shorty does not take trades while it's in the cloud here. So between 345 and 349, a lot of traders will go in and they'll lose a lot of money. This is where I go in. I like this. You see how big the open space is between the clouds? That's a lot of space. And I think Sequence will recall when I called Roku when I was in my previous group, they had a range like this and people said it's impossible to make $100 move. I think it happened in 2 days on Roku. So keep an eye on this. Over 350, but what probably it's going to do is something like this. It's going to go here. People are going to say, oh, it's going to the moon. It's going to stay in this line here. It's going to go here, here, and then going to pop. Then this is where we buy. You buy the retest of 350 on Facebook. I will play the scalp between here, between these levels, between this, and this next line is a good 7 points on Facebook. So let's see how we open tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know where this level is because it's readjusted at the time open. But this will be the level, and we can take a look at the naked chart as well. So here's your last week's chart on your price levels. So it looks like 336.67 is the level that they have on the weekly. And then here you see 344, which is kind of the level that I had earlier. Let me just check the daily. And yeah, I mean, the dailies honestly is like right here, you see that 337.11. I would not play it till that 337.5 breaks at all. So I would definitely watch this. It does have like a mini bull flag here if you guys look at it here, right? So right here, it's forming that. I would definitely watch this tomorrow. If we can catch it, that's great. I would play weeklies on this. I can go from there. But Facebook does look decent. I think it's been lagging the most from all of the you know, the FANG stocks, as they call it. And here, let me just make sure I'm not missing. Okay. All right. So this looks pretty good. So 337.5 of Facebook. We'll play 340 calls on this tomorrow. So we have this. Let me see how Twitter is looking. Ooh. This is a bear flag on Twitter on weekly. But it could be basing here, right? So it's not making any lower lows. But this could be a bear flag on too. So this is worth watching tomorrow to see how it plays out. Yeah, I would short it below here. If this was to dip below 41.63, I would definitely short this. Yeah, the next support is around 38.9, and it has a demand zone here. If you guys can see it, you guys see this confluence right here. So if we were to put our volume profile on, you guys would see it kind of coming around that area right here, 38.9. I'll watch Twitter. It's a side item, not a primary item. AMD. So AMD has a nice bull flag actually forming here. I think all the semis are probably ready to start running. I do have 155 as my target for AMD. The only way I would take this long is over 150. So that 149, I don't trust it. So for me, it would be 150 that you take a long. So let's see if I mark this. I'll just change it manually. So I would take it over 150 and play the 155.24. That's just a psychological number on it. And I'll just check now to see what's going on. So there's a VPOC right here. So we have to be aware of those. And for your own self, you want to make sure that you're charting all of your VPOCs. So that way you're aware what's going on, right? So this would be a VPOC. And you want to mark these on your charts. I think this is 22nd. I have a strong feeling we're gonna come back and test this VPOC tomorrow. There's a nice, wow, that VPOC right here was beautiful.
Shorty, just so you know, I'm posting the algos for everything you're looking at.
Oh, great, thank you. So I'll switch. Crowd looks good. Baba, Fubo. Is the red line the price or which one? Oh, it's stock price. So there's a bearish divergence on Fubo. A lot of calls on premiums on puts.
Shorty, you said Twitter over 150 for what call?
Twitter, it was a side item. Twitter is more about, I think I'm more on the bearish side on Twitter, unless it starts really going. I would look for 45 break on the long side. 45 break on the long side, which should be this POC here, kind of 44.79, but I would round that up definitely to 45. And then you have a VPOC on Twitter right here at 46.8. So over 45, you have. So you see here, there's nothing between here. You would have 45.98. You could make like $1 something on this pop here on Twitter, but it's more of a side. I'm just watching to see this bear flag to see if they're actually gonna play it out to the downside. So AMD, I think we got it. Over 150, we'll play the calls. That's really safe. You could play the, the previous day high, which was 149.07, but you're risking a lot for a little bit of gain. So it's not really worth it for me. But if it is for you, then 149.07 is a really risky entry on the video. Here. So does anyone know what this candle is on weekly here?
Is it bullish engulfing?
Oh, no.
Fuck.
No, it's not, but that's a good guess. Okay, so here's the next one. Does it look identical to this? Let me just kind of put this.
Why is it different?
I'll show you why it's different.
Something tells me it's because of where it opened. That's what makes it different.
So if you look at this candle right here, it dipped lower than the previous candle, right? Then 50% of this candle is higher than the body of the previous candle. It basically pierced into the body of the second candle, but more than 50% of the candle of the previous. You see that? And here, where it says, oh, there it goes. The green candle closed at least 50% into the body of the previous candle. You see that? It closed well above the 50% of the previous candle. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And what else does this look like?
Falling wedge.
Yeah, falling wedge. Yeah. And now we're going to look at the daily real quick. So that's the weekly. So we got a falling wedge. I mean, I'll probably grab this one, to be honest, more so than the other one. So a hammer candle off of the bottom. So on the falling wedges, this can be your entry right here. The tap here can be your entry, and you put your stop loss right below if you have it right here. This was a nice entry right here. So this is NVIDIA, right? So I think this one's actually ready over 305-ish, the level I had on my chart. So 300, I'm pretty sure people are going to get in over the 300. I'm going to wait for 305, 306 to clear from here. Yeah, it's around here. So if I look at my lines here, I'll show you why. So here's your, the green chart is your 4-hour Keltner channels. Then you have, this is a weekly cloud. The higher the cloud, the more powerful it is. And you guys see that it's stuck inside the cloud right here. I don't like to trade stuff when it's inside the cloud because you get choppiness. And you guys can tell every time it's inside a cloud, you see the choppiness that you get the choppiness here. Once we break this 305.57, is there anything stopping it?
There, nothing. Wide open.
Range. This is gonna literally rocket over 305. But on the way to 305, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be frustrated people because they don't see this level. So we're gonna be watching this over 305. I would say 5, or if you want to round it up to 306, this can literally rocket. If it's tomorrow or this week, it's a high watch item. So I would probably say you can delete this. You can put an alert over 300 just so that way you're kind of aware it's moving. And then this one, 306 would be the level that you can change it to. And I mean, there was some volume anomaly here. This could very well, easily also come back down. So below 294, you could definitely short this all the way down. It might really plummet. So 306 calls, 294 puts. Okay. That's why everybody's excited about it, and I just can't try it out. When something like this, I usually like to use my channels here instead of cheating or missing the line. I think the white one is decent there, but I'll keep this. So obviously here is trying to make 1072 will be the reversal. That's where it would make actually a higher high towards this next level of almost $1,200 for continued run up. Let's see, where's the fibs? Yeah, so 1085 is a, yeah, I would keep this level here, 1085 to be the entry instead of that. And we can confirm it. Oh, Tesla, oof. Every time it goes up, it leaves so many VPOGs behind. Okay, and there's a gap here. So from this picture right here, from here to here, can anyone tell me a potential story? What could happen?
I see a double top. You could see a reversal to the downside. It'll be drawn to that 1005 VPOC.
Yep.
And then the next level, it might get drawn down to 932 and fill that gap.
Yep, exactly. So here there was a heavy seller, obviously, maybe Elon Musk himself. But if you notice, obviously we're at the end of the year, right? There's a couple of days left. A lot of heavy boys are not going to be looking to add to their positions right now. So keep that in mind. This guy unloaded. There was another guy that unloaded here, which is also a VPOC. This level, which lines up perfectly with the 61.8 fib, 1085, 1083 level. The way I see it happening tomorrow is a trap. I think tomorrow we might see a lot of traps, and I'm not telling you to create a bearish or bullish, predetermined mindset. I'm just telling you how I envision stuff. There's a level here that's an attracting level. It's a VPOC. I think the way Drew just mentioned, this is a double top, right? So the way I see it is they might control Z, this guy. They might break this over and literally reject the 1085 and then continue down to the VPOC, or come back for a retest. If it goes, breaks this, comes back for a retest, and you see that it's curling, might not be bad to buy it. They might go higher and push that 1085 run and go towards the $1,100. So tomorrow you kind of have to be really, really careful the way you're playing and watching the market. You don't want to get kind of, catch on chasing, and you buy here and then they come here and literally reverse it all the way back to $70. You want to be seeing a nice curl on 5 minutes, use more than 3 minutes tomorrow on trading. You want to see a nice curl on everything that you're watching before you get into the trades, because there could be potentially a lot of traps tomorrow because everything is at resistance right now. So I would definitely watch this one. If we can get over 1085, I think it's an easy 1,000 just because of the large numbers. Let's see what else we got. Anyone else from the list?
I know you were looking at.
I said look at Baba if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's look at Baba. So I'm just keeping the tabs open so I know everything I'm looking at, and if they miss something.
I know you were looking at QCOM too, right?
Yes, QCOM, that's good. Here's Baba. Man, I had all these levels perfectly drawn on Baba. So it's reclaiming this massive falling wedge. You see it? I mean, it's trying to reclaim this right here. And it's a big indecision candle. I think I saw a flow on Baba that was targeting some insane puts. Did you see that, or?
On the algos, I saw everything looked bullish.
Yeah, this guy's selling the 120 puts. 120 calls. Yeah. What is your idea behind it? Where do you think it goes?
Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me pull up.
I mean, obviously has a lot of indecision stuff going on here. So for me, I would just be cautious on the weekly. What does it look like?
Here, can you see that, Shorty? What I just posted in the chat.
Let me get down all the way down, catching all this.
I mean, obviously, it could break to either side, but
Yep.
the
That's what I'm saying. So if you look at the weekly here, it's definitely a bear pennant, right? You have a bear pennant that's being formed. You would short it below here. Below 113, it's an easy short. And I mean, it has potential to plummet if it goes below 113. One thing to notice on this chart right here is this level right here, the 120. So when Baba had this massive, so a lot of IPO stocks do this, right? They run, if you look at Dash, if you look at Airbnb, they all have this pop, and then all the way down they accumulate. And this becomes a major level of resistance, right? So if you're looking at this point was the highest high of this chart. The way they usually play this is they will have a massive falling wedge like they did here. You see how they broke it, and they came back literally on the lowest point and retested, and then it literally took off. This point right here that you guys are seeing, this right here, this level of 120 is the breakout level of Baba. This is the most important level that you need to be aware of on Baba, because right now it's back to that level again. So a lot of people, and I know this myself, they're like, well, that breakout level will never be tested. It's too far. We are 320. So never make any absolutes in the market. I promise you will hate yourself for it. This came back to the breakout level retest. It went to 320 and it dropped $200 since, right? So a lot of people that, you know, that bought this massive flag here that it was breaking up, it never made a higher high, it rejected. Basically, it failed, and now it came back to the retest. For me personally, to play the calls on this, if you're gonna play something, you know, aggressive, you could go on the daily chart and look at, you know, something smaller here that it's creating a base, but I would wait for the 120 break to take anything on this, and I would play something closer in the money on Baba, because any news in Baba can wreck you. If their CEO goes missing, you're gonna lose everything you got. Any news or bad news on it. Okay. Did we get the level for? Did we get the level 4? I'm sorry, for Tesla down.
Over 185, right?
Yep, you can play over 1085, correct? Yep.
Got it. Baba was over 120.
Yep, I would say Baba 120. You have to be very quick on Baba.
Got both of them.
I posted the algos for Tesla as well.
Yes, I love Affirm. Affirm is my favorite setup. I'm coming to it. So there's actually a bearish divergence on this chart. So the price here made a higher high compared to here. Algo actually never, it made a higher high here, right? And then it made lower highs, but the price made higher highs compared to here. So there's actually a bearish divergence on Tesla, right? Yeah, there's a bearish divergence in Tesla. But that is just insane. Wow. Yeah, they're going to be hitting 180 on Apple. I would expect them to hit 180 on Apple. What's the command? Okay, let's check. I do like Amazon and Affirm more than Amazon. So let's see. This is Baba. Come on. Okay, yeah, I like Affirm a lot. I'll just remove all of it. We'll go into the daily. I mean, right off the bat, you can tell that there's a pattern forming here. You guys see it? Anyway, yeah, I'm sure you do. Hope you do.
Yeah, falling wedge.
All right, see what's the best. Probably this one here. Yeah, there it goes. A nice falling wedge right here, forming on this guy. So did it fill? It filled the gap all the way down. That's amazing. The first gap here, it does have another gap below at 87, which would be the bottom of this falling wedge. should be crazy, but it's not that it can't do it. So do you guys see something interesting here? It's the same breakout level as you've seen on Baba. If I was to go here, it seems like this level right here, like if you look at this level here, acted as support, and then it became resistance, and then it became resistance, and then they had this ER, and this literally went kind of ballistic here. So it will have to break 105 for me to take it long. I know there's a lot of bullish flow on this stock, and I'm very bullish on the company itself. And probably on this call, I don't know how many people we got right now, probably 30, 40 people. I'm pretty sure 50% of you use the firm.
25
What do you mean 25?
people.
Oh, 25 people. I was like, yeah, how do you know 25% of people that use the firm? I was like, damn, should do a poll. Yeah, so I mean, especially with the with the shopping, the Christmas, so I've seen some numbers on the small loans for consumers. They're actually sky high, meaning that a lot of consumers are using loans, and a firm is considered a loan service. So I'm actually thinking that a lot of people are utilizing this service right now for purchases. Honestly, just the way the economy is and the way everything's been going on. I think they're gonna explode into the February.
And they have the debit card coming out too.
Oh, they do? Yeah, I didn't even know that. So, and are they on Amazon? I don't know. I'm gonna check. Are you on Amazon partnership? Like if you're to go buy something?
Yeah, they had it with like GameStop and stuff like that too. I bought like my newest Joy-Cons a while back with it.
I knew they talked about it. I just don't know if it's available. But yeah, this is a good company in my opinion. They do have a lot of competition. I think Shopify can get into the market, or if they didn't already with the Shop Pay or whatever. I think there's a lot of competition coming, but I think they're positioned well in terms of overall market. So we'll watch this over 105 tomorrow. So we talked about this. We talked about crowd. Amazon is the one that I'm kind of watching right now. Let's see, Amazon.
So, Shorty, to answer your question, as of September 3rd, 2021, you can use a firm on Amazon with purchases over $50.
Huh. Wow. Okay. That's good to know. I do think that's going to be heavily used service, and I don't know if there's a way. We won't be able to find anything, but I'll look into some other reporting sites tonight that I have access to. There has to be a massive usage on. I wish I had some friends at Amazon to see, but yeah. Obviously, simple way to trade this on Amazon, and this gets respected well on Amazon because I've traded Amazon before. 3441. If it breaks, it has about $42 points that it's going to go to the next level, and so on. So here, obviously, you have. If I was to play this, come on. So this level here will be really, really important. 3550 will be really, really important level. Then also there you have obviously a supply zone that's formed. So you have to kind of be aware of that if you're going to be trading it. So this is a level that I would look to be scaling out most of the profits if it decides to run tomorrow. And I think there's a data point somewhere, maybe I saw it on Twitter or even our Discord. The day after Christmas, Amazon usually runs like crazy. So that's something to pay attention to, just to be aware. So 35.27 might be a good level. So yeah, 34.41, I would go for the put. I mean, just logically saying, if it breaks below this, you could go with the put side, but 34.3. You would have to wait for the big candle here to be broken to short it, but you don't have a lot of downside meat if you see what I mean. So 34.70, you're looking about 33.20, the high of 33.40. So I would scale out somewhere around here, somewhere around 338. So this would be my long level on Amazon. This would be my short. I'll short it here. This is my first target here. And I would definitely scale out some here. This would be the level. So it's kind of setting up an inside day here. The break above it. I mean, you could short it here, but this is a dangerous short at 3,400. That's a really dangerous short just because the even number of 3,400, you know, $30 more would not hurt to wait. And it has a lot of support here. I mean, you can look at the volume here that came up. So that's Amazon. What else we have? So we have Fubo, Crowd, AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, Baobab, Firm, Amazon, and the Firm usage on Amazon. QCOM? Yep, let's check QCOM. Oof, QCOM is almost ready. Yeah, this looks, whenever you see something like this, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous base. Obviously, this is it's just a beautiful setup. So there's a couple of ways you could play it, right? You could play the break of this flag, then you have to be aware that there's potential that it's going to reject the 192. So if you take it on the break here of 187, you're playing the $5. Okay. If you're a more patient trader and you're doing this is definitely a bull pennant. If you're going to wait for that, then 192 would be the level that you play. This would be the level that you want to go after to get in. Let me keep that line there just so I don't lose it. So this is how I would play QCOM. It has a really good setup. It's definitely worth watching. Yeah, and I think all chips will run. Let's check TSM. I know Flipper was all about it last week. So anyone have an idea what's this called right here?
Consolidation.
Perfect. Yep. And there's actually a pattern for it. It's called rectangular consolidation.
Wait, I got it right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
You did not play this until where? Anyone?
Over 129 right there at the top. Yeah. Or sorry, not 129. Sorry, I couldn't exactly see. 128.
Yeah. If you try to play this here, which a lot of people will, you will lose money. But be my guest tomorrow. A lot of people will get greedy and they will forget what's waiting right above it. So sure, you can play this over 121 tomorrow if it starts running. If you do, make sure that right here at 128 level, you do take your money off because it will smack you here. Okay, so this is a good looking chart, but it needs time. So 122, I mean, you see how many resistance points it has here. And this is just, a candle doesn't tell you how the price went or where all the sellers were, right? So that's why I suggest I'm not doing it today for you guys. Most of you guys know how to do it. When you look at it, right, you need to look at your volume profiles and understand where all the VPOCs are, right? So here, for me, it's hitting multiple selling opportunities on VPOCs, right? So 122, look at this. 1, 2, 3, there's 3 times, and then right above here, you have another seller that was kind of heavy here. Once it came back, came rejected, went lower. Here, you actually have a VPOC at 125. So these would be the levels that you play on this stock. 122, you play to 123 and you scale out. And then so on and so on. So if you're going to scalp this tomorrow, this is definitely over 122. I would say 122 and a half, and you can play the 123.30 or potentially to 125 round. But here, if you look, let's go on 30 minutes. Did this candle happen at the open, or? Yep, it happened at the open. And it has a VPOC right here. And you guys can see here, 3 days, boom, drop. This is a market pattern, market maker's pattern right here. So it actually played it pretty nice over a long period of time. So, I mean, it would be a nice buy here if it drops tomorrow to this level. PLTR, it fucking pissed me off. Excuse my language. It was supposed to go that day. I mean, this is, if this is not basing right here, I don't know what basing is then. I will wait for a 20 break on PLTR. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to go for the 19.5. I'm waiting for the 20 break. I'm not going to let it play me again. So PLTR. Just want to check this stock that I. $295, $295. What else do we have? Anyone on chat? Microsoft on Facebook. Microsoft. It has a nice triangle here, symmetrical triangle, so this can go both ways. I just don't like the setup. It's not ready for me just yet. It might run, but it's just not there yet. Yeah, this one is definitely not there yet. Microsoft, what was the other one? We covered Facebook. How is Shopee looking? Shopee is about to hit the resistance. So, I don't know if I'm interested in this one. I mean, you could play this tomorrow if you want to. Over 1443, there's a high chance you go to 1500 here. And it's 3 white soldiers, if you guys are familiar with that pattern. So there it goes. It's right here. You see this? That's a 3 white soldiers pattern right here. And it's usually a reversal trend, and that's exactly what this one is right here. And you guys can tell when it happened before. Continued up, it pushed back. So if we get some pullback here, it might not be bad to scale out. The 1500 level, that's what we have. I guess there's a VPOC there maybe, or it was an old one. Yeah, there's definitely a VPOC there now. So Okay, so that's no longer VPOC, they changed it. So 1458. No longer VPOC here, 1495. So if you're just trading off of candles, and hopefully you guys are seeing this, right? So this was last week's high, right? Right here somewhere. Let's call it 1444. I can actually make sure it's correct. Okay, 1443. That's where the daily is. If you look at it right now, you guys see that 1443. A lot of traders, and I see it, I mean, obviously everywhere, is they will say over 443, man, we're going next, whatever the level is. They forget to look at, or maybe they don't use it, or they don't know how to use it. But this level right here that's showing was heavy selling from this level. From this level right here, even at 1448, there was heavy selling as well. So for me, you really have to cross 1457 for me to trust you, and then there's a high chance you go to about $1,500. So that's why sometimes when you look at the daily candles and the way people trade, and I see it everywhere, and I see it with people that have 200,000 followers, and maybe that's right, but you have to be, it's your money, it's not their money. You have to be cautious, and you have to know all the levels that are in play before you invest. So for me, obviously, it's breaking this right here. And just be smart next time. Just use them channels. I got new to this. Just kidding. Okay, so I mean, it broke this trend. It would not be bad if it came back for a retest on this. So obviously here it has some VPOCs that it left behind. There's a major one here at 1280. This one is no longer a VPOC, but it is a POC. So these are the levels here that I would kind of pay attention to tomorrow. You'll probably, if it goes to 14.4, like in this area right here, if you were to draw a level of supply zone right from here to here, maybe a little less. Trying to catch that volume bar. Something like this. You will get a bounce here if it dips to 1400. So let's see how it does tomorrow. We'll watch shop. How did Bitcoin do? Right, stuck at the 61.8, so it needs to break this level. 51309 to go higher. This was actually a VPOC a long time ago on it. With that being said, well, that was nice. That was a nice play here. I think, Drew, did you catch this? I think you played this, didn't you? This is a really nice run. Thought I saw Drew played it, maybe not. Maybe I was.
Yeah, I got it a little bit.
Yeah, nice. So it was a nice run. So let me see. I'll watch coin tomorrow just as a side chart.
Your chart says 65 minutes.
Yeah, sometimes I do 65 minutes because that's actually a Fibonacci number as well, and it breaks out the day evenly. Square has been taking a beating.
When you learn something random from Shorty, 65-minute candles.
Have you ever guys breaking down the day into like, because we don't have like normal day of trading, right? In terms of the candle and the hours, right? So you're really trading, if you look at it, you're trading from 9:30 to 4. It's not an even number where you can trade it and divide it by number of hours. So if you divide the hours by the 60 minutes, it will tell you the ratios, and then you can calculate the perfect ratios of the time. So usually traders that are really, really strict on Fibonacci's, they don't use these time frames. They would use 65, 195, and something similar to make sure that they have the right ratios for the minutes and the time frames.
That makes so much sense, though.
Correct. So let's see. So I mean, this looks like it's accumulating nicely here. I can't tell sometimes. This, yeah, this is. So this one really never came back here. I will wait for this 171 to break, honestly, and then you could make a case that this can go a lot higher. It could go to 200, honestly, right here. So the 194. Once it breaks this channel, the 50%, I think we could go hit this right here. So we'll watch this over 171.88. If it does, I wouldn't play weeklies on this, but I would play further out contracts sometimes in January, like monthlies in January or February. I think last week, what's his name? Flipper, he messaged me about UPST. Oh my God, UPST took a beating. Setting up for a nice run potentially here. Yeah, I think this looks good over 150. I don't know how the flow's been, but this looks good. Short below 142. Yeah, I'm more bullish on this one just because I mean it's been getting destroyed lately. Yeah, I will look at this over 151 tomorrow. UPST. Let's see what else we got. I don't want to miss somebody. Marcoin, we're going to see down consolation. Myrna. Shop recovered. Roku Apple. Okay. What is SC? What do they do? Sequence. Keep forgetting. Is that e-commerce platform?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, like handmade stuff or
Like Etsy or something?
yeah.
I mean, this is a nice channel here. Double bottom, perfect double bottom.
Yeah, it looks like it has
Awesome.
some supply from back then too.
Wait, I thought you were asking what SE was. I have no idea what SE is.
C limited. I have no idea what they do, but
Apparently,
I've never traded this stock, so I really don't know how it behaves. I'll have to look at it tomorrow a little bit more, but there's a lot of. You guys see how this was the first takeoff here? The level. I mean, obviously your level here for the support right here was your breakout level, and you guys see how it broke out, came back, and then it took off. So that's actually your breakout level, the 203 level. Now it was the first, it has, these don't really count as bottoms before it takes off and creates actually a true rounded top. So if you look here, right, it took off from here. So this would be your kind of first bottom, or this one. But you see how the volume picked up a lot more on the second touch. So now there's potentially a bounce. You can play it over 228, maybe even call it 230 because the law of even numbers. But there's just a lot of wicks here in this area. Like it's almost like this whole area becomes like a, right here becomes, so look here, sequence. Like this whole area, 256 becomes a range for it to kind of bounce around in.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's going to consolidate some, and
Yeah, I think it's gonna consolidate a little bit before it makes a move anywhere.
yeah, it looked pretty cool.
What about MSTR? Oh, this looks so good. Oh, this looks so good. I love when I come across a stock random like this. Oh, this is easy money. Yeah, this looks very good, guys. This stock was at like 1,500, 1,600. They have 122,000 Bitcoins on MicroStrategy. Okay, so they have 7,000 Bitcoins. So this company actually is not bad for, what do they have, ER at any point? And I honestly might play some swings on this. January 27th, the ER. This looks like a really good setup here.
What are your calls and put?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, what are your calls and put
I would,
for our MicroStrategy?
yeah, MicroStrategy. I'm looking probably over 600 to look for some swings to cover the ER. This looks very, very nice. Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely be looking on this one. This is going to go into my primary list. Uber is going to go a little bit slide down to the right. Yeah, I'm definitely watching this tomorrow. Because it's still making higher lows here in terms of millimeter lower low. So it needs to take out if it's going to go. Has the support right here, 567. this looks very good. So we'll watch this tomorrow. Let's see what else we got. 5 bearish divergence. Yeah, thank you, Flipper. I think we sent Apple. I'm sorry. One more. No, I think we're good. We don't want to. And then we'll kind of look at it pre-market and see what's popping, what's not. Yeah, Apple. I mean, it has a 61.8 fib right here, 176. Then it has 178. Obviously, a lot of calls were in for 180. I think everybody is watching this level on Apple tomorrow. To me, the candles are just not convincing here. I don't know. It just does not look like a lot of convincing candles here. Whoa. Yep, I mean, so honestly, if you're gonna short it, you have to wait for 173.48 to be, and if you're gonna go long 170, I would honestly call this 177 to go long over 177, and then you would get some resistance around 179.30, and then just stick to what works. And here you would have some resistance, 178.29. So honestly, after 178.29, there's really not much volume profile after that. Okay. PFC and this. Okay, let's do PFC. I mean, it has a nice bull flag here. Let me just remove all of that. So it has an inside bar here. I mean, honestly, a lot of people are going to hop in over to 60. They're going to go ride it. You could go short below 58.22, go long over 60. And when I'm giving you guys these levels, hopefully you guys are relating this, if you're going to be day trading, to your orbs. Because if you get a confluence point with the orbs with one of these levels, you count that level as confluence, and it makes it so much easier and trustworthy to take that trade. So it does look like a bull flag, right? The bull pennant that's forming here. I would definitely watch this tomorrow. Smart traders probably would wait for the 65 break, but risky traders will take the 60 to 60 and a half. But it does have a lot of resistance here in that area. So the all-time high, 61.71. So I would definitely be cautious on PFE just because of the news, what might come up. I think didn't they release the pills or whatever it was. So I would definitely watch it, but I just don't. It's just been behaving in consolidation mode here, so Yeah. So these would be the levels that I play. This one. What was your other one? Yeah, I agree with the moon. That's correct. Morning coin have, but when MSTR runs, you can get a contract to move from 5K to about 50K if Bitcoin agrees. Disney. Let's see where Disney is. It's actually been beat down. Okay, well, I guess I charted it. 154.46. I would not touch it till it makes a new higher high here. If it does, I would play the calls because that really could rock it. It has a gap here starting at 163. So, and then if you use your fibs, you will know where it's going to go, and it lines up right there at 170. I would play this actually tomorrow. I would play it over one. I'll probably play it over 155 to be on the safe side. But that would be my level. And then shorting, if you're gonna short it, let's see. There's a lot of support here. It's coming. The gap over there. 48. I mean, this is a really bullish candle. If you're gonna short this guy, honestly, you have to let it break here below the triangle, at least for me. But that's just me. It's a very conservative play. I think this has been beat down a lot, and the worst case, this would be a bear flag that's forming here, and you want to take it below the 147. I think anything in between, you're gonna get burnt by Tate, honestly. But that's just me. All right. Well, I think this is a good list, guys. We went over 20 stocks. Somebody can send the notes. I'll organize them to primary and secondaries, and then we'll upload it. And let's watch these levels tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I have my son's first doctor's appointment at 9:20, so I probably won't be there at open, but I will definitely watch these levels tomorrow for potential upside or downside based on the levels and triggers that we showed. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Shorty,
Yep.
I missed PFE, SE and UPST.
PFE, where's PFE? Right here. PFE, I would say 60. If you want to play risky, you can place over 60. 60 and a half probably would be a little bit easier to play to all-time highs. So 60, a little risky entry, 60 and a half, 60 and a half and 59 cents. A little less risky, but you have $1.20 upside. That would be the levels, and short below 58.22. And what was the other one? Coin?
Sorry.
SC, I wouldn't put it on the list, honestly. I'm just not familiar with how it moves.
Okay.
Never traded it before. I just can't tell you much.
UPST.
UPST looks pretty good. I would play UPST over 151, short below 142.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Thank you for doing that. If you can send that, and then I'll upload into primary, secondaries, and we can go from there. Thank you, guys, and let's make some money tomorrow.
Yes, sir.